The following is a special sports presentation of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Bengals Weekly. I'm Dan Horde. He is Dave Lapham. This week, the Bengals are back home at Paul Brown Stadium to host the New York Jets, and their starting quarterback will be the Red Rifle. Zach Taylor announcing this week that he is sitting Ryan Finley down and going back to Andy Dalton.
When the team was 0-8, it wasn't all Andy Dalton's fault. You know, everybody let him down more than he let everybody else down, in my estimation. Quarterback gets too much credit when it goes well and way too much blame when it doesn't. There are issues, you know, offensive line issues, wide receiver injury issues. There's a lot of things. They decided to take a look at Ryan Finley, see if he could give him a spark. It didn't work out. You know, Ryan struggled. And with what they've got coming up defensively, all the exotic pressures and the aggressiveness of Greg Williams to start with the New York Jets this weekend, you want a guy with more experience that has seen it, can handle it, maybe get the ball out of his hand a little bit quicker. And he made a move at the left tackle position to solidify that with Cordy Glenn to win a football game, doing the same thing at the quarterback position with more experience there to solidify that, to win a football game. Players and coaches want to win these last 5 football games. You don't want to finish any season over.
That is for sure. Now time for this week's Clutch Performance. It is brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, clutch performance in the world. Finley fakes a handoff. He's back to throw. Looking, cutting it deep downfield for Tyler Boyd. Boyd makes a one-handed catch at the Pittsburgh 15-yard line. What a grab with the left hand, despite blanket coverage by Terrell Edmonds. Time for this week's visit with Bengals head coach Zach Taylor. You've made the decision to go back to Andy Dalton as your starting quarterback. Why did you make that decision, and why now?
Well, I feel like Andy gives us a good chance to win right now, and it's tough. It's been tough to evaluate the quarterback, period. You know, we have a lot of challenges on offense right now, but just felt like it was the best interest of the team to move back to Andy.
3 games is not a huge sample size for Ryan Finley. What did he show you in those 3 games?
Well, you know, a lot of great qualities that he has. He's got some good leadership qualities. He prepared the right way. Again, it was a challenge for any quarterback back there to complete all the balls you want him to complete. And so still know that we got a great player there, and he's going to be with us for the future.
Players want the coaching staff to put them in the best position to win. That might be the #1 thing they want. In making this decision, were you reading the room, reading the locker room?
I wouldn't say that. I just felt like we were going to face some really challenging defenses, and it's tough for any rookie to go into those challenges with what we're about to face here down these next couple games. And you know, Andy's ready to get another opportunity and lead us the rest of the way here.
Let's talk about the defense. You've given up 17 points and 16 points in your last 2 games, lowest point totals of the season allowed. What stands out about the performance of the defense the last couple of weeks?
Well, I really think against the run, you know, we really had a winning performance on 33 of the 38 runs that we faced against. It's just those couple that get out on you, where we got to make the tackles at the line of scrimmage and we shut them down. You know, so we got guys in position, they just got to make the plays, and then you know, the red zone defense has been a real positive for us really throughout the season. They've done a great job of making some stops. You saw the turnover there in the first quarter really gave us a big lift.
Carlos Dunlap had a hand in that play. Literally, he deflected the pass that Sean Williams intercepted. And Carlos had a disruptive day. He had a sack, a couple of quarterback hits. Can he dominate like that on a more regular basis?
That's what we just need, consistency from all of our top performers, you know, and we're expecting those guys to lead us and make some big game-changing plays, and fortunate he was able to contribute to that one on Sunday.
The Jets are in town this week. If you look at their offensive stats for the season, they're in the bottom 3rd or bottom 3 really in just about every category. But then I look at their last 3 games and they've scored 34 points in each of the last 3. What changed for them?
Well, the quarterback's been really efficient. He's taking care of the football, you know, and he's gotten into where it needs to go. I know last game they played some pretty good field position on some punt returns and some turnovers on downs and interceptions, and they capitalized on all of them, which you got to do. So they're certainly hitting their stride, and they're playing with a lot of confidence right now.
15 different players on that defense have at least a half a sack. What does that say about their defensive coordinator, Greg Williams?
He's pretty aggressive. You know, they do a good job. They're #1 against the run in the league, and you look throughout the season at all the teams that have rushed against them and try to find some nice runs in there, and it's been pretty ugly, you know, and so they do a great job stopping the run and forcing you to pass, and They got 2 really good safeties, you know, and we got to be prepared for those guys.
Jamal Adams is one of those safeties. He's got 6.5 sacks, 12 quarterback hits from the safety position. Is there a safety making more disruptive plays than him?
He's special. He's special. He reminds me a little bit of Derwin James over at San Diego. So he's obviously a unique player that they use in a lot of different ways, and he's having a good season.
Everybody in the building desperately wants a win. Does draft position for next year enter into your decision making at all?
0. We just want to win. You know, that's what we work for. That's what all the players, coaches, personnel, everybody is just trying to get wins, as many as possible before the season ends, and let the rest of it shake out as it may, but that's our #1 focus.
Hope you get it this week.
Thank you.
We'll put Zach on the telestrator when Bengals Weekly returns. Bengals Weekly is brought to you in part by Fifth Third Bank, on the field, in the weight room, and in the community. Fifth Third Bank and the Bengals are driving to better. Learn more about the drive to better at Bengals.com/53. And by McDonald's, the greater Cincinnati area. McDonald's owner-operators are proud sponsors of the Cincinnati Bengals.
My favorite part of the show, because we get to learn more about football with Bengals head coach Zach Taylor.
First clip we got here was late in the second quarter. We took a shot with an 8-man protection. It's really the same play we were in against Arizona for a big touchdown to TB earlier in the year. This time you can see, obviously, we want this player a little bit more in the post so we can lean him and him play over the top and we can cross face. He didn't do that. He played behind it a little bit, but the protection was good enough where Ryan could set up and really see that, hey, I got a one-on-one with the safety in a bad position, so just lay it up there and let TB go make a play for us. Again, we got to generate some of these explosives, and so sometimes you just got to throw it up and let your guy go make a play. And you really say, nice job. I mean, this is one of the rare times we ask our receiver to be in protection. We got tight end in protection on Watt, who's a really good edge rusher in this league. So everybody does a nice job up front. Ryan gives him a shot. And TB, despite the defensive pass interference, is able to go up and make the play. Put us in a position to score the next play.
You had Auden Tate motion in and block in Arizona, and you get Alex Erickson just giving you, he's got the edge as a pass protector.
That's right. The more you can do.
I'll tell you, man, that guy's tough, playing through injury.
He is. Then in the second half here, this is a good scheme adjustment by Coach Turner. You know, we were having a hard time around the ball. It's a really good run defense. And so, you know, we're just trying to zone up to the play side backer and let the tight end insert on the backside because these guys were scraping over the top and making plays, and our guards couldn't get there. So let's man it up on the backside and let the tight end insert, go get a good play here. Ideally, it's for 2 safety defense. The safety was messing around with us. Sometimes you couldn't tell if he was going to be down or back.
Sure.
In this case, he was down, so he's not a block player, but Joe does a good job reading the block of CJ there. See it a little bit better here. So, again, we're out. These 2 are comboing here, and these 2 are man blocking on the backside. We're going to insert there and kind of cut the defense in half a little bit. And so it was good second half scheme thought by Jimmy.
And you get Joe going, boy.
Had a good run. Yeah, we hit this one for 2 runs in this drive that gave us big plays and led us to a field goal that tied the game up.
Joe Mixon's energy is contagious, isn't it?
He gets going there a little bit. So this was in the first quarter. It was 3rd and goal from the 9. And so they were running a play trying to attack our blanket coverage right here. They're going to set these guys at the line. They're going to try to run them over the top and hit them here in the back end zone. Lou does a nice job bringing the pressure here. And Carlos gets his hand on it, tips the ball, and Sean's in great position to go make this play and get the pick and get us out of the end zone there and get us back to about the 20-yard line-ish, 15-yard line. And so it was a huge play right there. They had a lot of momentum early in the game. They had a big drive. And, again, our guys stepped up and made plays, and these are the turnovers we need to create in order to go win a game.
4th in the NFL now defensively in the red zone and tied for 2nd in possessions with no points in the red zone like this one. Yeah. That's big time, isn't it?
Yeah, they've done a great job in that area.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck Sunday.
Thank you.
Hey, Bengals fans, it's the McDonald's Pounder Play of the Game, brought to you by the Quarter Pounder and Double Quarter Pounder with cheese. So tackle your toughest appetite and pound one today.
It's a toss, sweet. Mixon's in trouble. Somehow got away from the first hit. Running forward. He has the first down and more. A miraculous run. Houdini-like by Joe Mixon. Devin Bush eventually makes the stop as Joe runs for 9 when he should have lost 5. Coming up, a former Bengals defensive great visits with a current one as Solomon Wilcots talks to Sam Hubbard. That's next on Bengals Weekly.
Show your Bengals spirit by joining the Who Day Ladies, presented by Kleenex, Kotex, and Cottonelle. Members will receive exclusive club gear, access to special club events, and so much more. For more information and to sign up, visit Bengals.com/ladies.
On Sunday, the Bengals partnered with a Free Store Food Bank to collect donated food items and money to help those in need of a Thanksgiving dinner. On Tuesday,
I think you need this, though.
I need.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day, man.
Thank you.
Rennell Wren and a few of his teammates helped to distribute turkey, sacks of food, smiles, and hugs to help make this Thanksgiving a little better.
Yeah, it's great, greeting people, because you never know what people are going through. So just a simple, like, how you doing, or how you doing, boss? There we're going. Just telling them having a blessed day, having a good day. Because like I said, you never know what people are going through. So just being able to do that, and, the little words that can just, like cheer somebody, smile up, make people smile and everything. So that's the biggest thing around these times.
Later that evening, offensive lineman John Miller hosted families at the Salvation Army. It was a large family home-cooked meal from Auntie's Homemade Cooking. Thanksgiving is the start of the holiday season to share hope and joy.
For me, it's always good to give back, especially give back to the community, give back to the people who don't necessarily have the means to go out and do things. And it's always special, you see the little kids, you see the smiling things on their faces. So it's always a blessing to be a blessing.
This week's Drive to Better is presented by Fifth Third Bank, where it pays to Houday.
He contains them and then finishes it. Excellent play by Sam Hubbard.
How did you develop your style of play? When I watch you, it's infectious. It's this high energy, and it seems to spread to other guys in the huddle and other guys on your team. How did you develop that style of play?
I played two sports, football and lacrosse, and I think that, they kind of complement each other, and I just carried it over. Ever since high school, that's just always been the way I played. I think our defense, when I was in high school, 2 state championships, I think we all played like that. And when we got to Ohio State, the Silver Bullets, they're known for flying to the ball. So I kind of just fell in love with that style of play too, and just kept building on what I was doing.
Being chased by Sam Hubbard,
Nice.
Russell Wilson, sacked.
He says, all right, Russell Wilson, I'm going to contain you. And he does. And then he dives and makes the sack. Remember, this guy started out as a safety, then moved to linebacker. Now he's a defensive lineman.
How did you make that transition? What was the trigger that said, okay, I'll play defensive end?
It was my redshirt year at Ohio State. I was playing linebacker, and they put me on defensive line on scout team, and I was doing really well, naturally pass rushing. So they decided to keep adding some pounds onto me, and the next year I ended up starting at defensive end.
There are times in our lives where we all have to kind of go through the fire of adversity, right? How are you dealing with this difficult period of adversity?
Yeah, I think this is the, first real adversity I faced in my career. I've never had a season-ending injury, surgeries, broken bones, never even had a losing season. This is a tough year that we're facing, and it's been a growing experience, a learning experience, trying to stick to my routine and doing what got me here. And eventually we're going to come out of this better on the other side.
You're considered to be one of the building blocks for the future. What is your vision for maybe in terms of how you want to see this all turn out?
My vision really is just best leaders, your best players are your hardest workers and most accountable people. I want to be, leading by example and doing everything the right ways and the hardest worker, and bring other guys with me. And I think we got guys on the team that's going to make that infectious.
You've won everywhere you've been. You see this turning out the same way?
Yeah, I'm not going to accept anything else. I'm going to keep grinding until we turn this thing around.
This season, every time the Bengals complete a drive of 53 or more yards, Fifth Third Bank will donate $530 to student loan relief. Enter for the chance to win at 53.com/Bengals. Time for this week's X's and O's segment. Lapp has the telestrator pen in his hand to take a look at this week's opponent, the Jets.
Well, Dan, as we know, they have a running back that has great vision, great patience, Le'Veon Bell. As you look at it, unbalanced. You have 3 tight ends over here. So you'd think point of attack over here. Not so fast with Le'Veon Bell. He's going to see the backside opportunity to make a little cutback, and he'll read it out. Patient, he's looking. Pretty good job on the backside. He's running up the football field, creating a natural lane, almost cutback lane, but you still have to play it well. Defensive lineman does a good job, comes off. Defensive back is trying to defeat his block, closing on Le'Veon Bell, thinking, not much going there. Not so fast, my friends. He makes 2 miss, runs through a tackle.
Wow.
Offensive lineman, big check mark right there. That's extra hustle. Down the football field, get a block. With a guy like this, you never know when he's going to take it to the house. Good hustle down the football field. 19-yard run, Le'Veon Bell. You didn't think it would be a 19-yard run when it started. Beast mode. Jamal Adams, 6.5 sacks. He's in the box. I mean, Greg Williams is going to have him here, there, everywhere, so beware. That's Barkley. Saquon Barkley, the man, right? He's supposed to be the kingpin. He's supposed to protect his quarterback here. What do you do when the ball's not in your hands? You're not running it, you're not in a route. Adams says, I'm going to kick your tail. I'm going to beat your quarterback. I'm going to take the ball away from your quarterback. I'm going to score a touchdown. Wow. How do you like all that? For the New York Jets, Jets. Jamal Adams, beast.
All right, now time for this week's Bengals trivia question. The last time the Jets came to Paul Brown Stadium, Andy Dalton threw a career-high 5 touchdown passes, so you already have one of the answers this week. Here's the question. Name the 3 quarterbacks who have thrown 5 or more touchdown passes in a game for the Bengals. We'll have the answer when Bengals Weekly returns.
It's now time to get to know your Bengals. What football achievement are you the most proud of?
Football achievement I'm most proud of is probably the Rose Bowl. I mean, just the way that we won that game. We went undefeated that year. To end my college career that way, that's probably one of my favorite moments.
Probably being drafted here to Cincinnati and staying in my home state. There's just a sense of pride for me. Again, being raised here, going to Ohio State, and then getting drafted here by Cincinnati was awesome for me.
Probably being academic All-American at Ohio State. There's only been like 50 or so in Ohio State history, and I was one of them. I'm really proud of that.
College football, national championship. I was fortunate enough to win MVP. So right now, that's it until I get Super Bowl MVP.
The Iron Bowl and the Kick 6, because that game, I had a big play in that game, and then the play that led after it was probably the biggest play in college football history. And I'm going ahead and boast, I had a 4th and 1 stop that set that play up. So I mean, that's my biggest achievement, just being a part of that magical game, because I mean that was a special time in Auburn history.
Probably first getting a scholarship to go to college. That was obviously having no student loans or anything for mom was really cool, and then getting drafted as well.
Welcome back. Time to answer this week's Bengals trivia question. Name the 3 quarterbacks to throw 5 or more touchdown passes in a game for the Bengals.
3 quarterbacks threw 5 touchdown passes in a game 5 different times. We have duplicate performances. Carson Palmer, 6 touchdown passes against the Brownies. He had 5 touchdown passes, a 5 touchdown pass game as well. Boomer Esiason did it twice. 5 touchdown passes, 2 different games, and of course Andy Dalton accomplished that feat as well.
The last time the New York Jets were in town. Here's where you can find us on location for one of our radio shows this week. On Friday, we'll be at Buffalo Wings and Rings, the Oakley location for the Bengals Pep Rally Show. Come out and see us from 3 to 6. Now time for this week's Sideline Report, brought to you by Tri-Health. Alex Redmond was set to start last week at left guard and suffered a season-ending biceps injury in the pregame warm-ups.
Unbelievable. I mean, he was just jamming in pregame warm-ups. The bicep attachment, where your bicep attaches to your elbow, tore it. Surgery, I mean, they said all of a sudden his arm was just limp. His arm's just hanging there. I mean, if that's not a microcosm of injury issues, I don't know what is. That one is, I mean, totally stupefying.
All right, let's get to Lap's keys to the game.
All right, 1st down, 3rd down. The Jets defensively, 2nd in the NFL in yards allowed on 1st down. The Bengals struggled against the Pittsburgh Steelers getting yards on 1st and 2nd down. Therefore, they found themselves in 3rd and long. They averaged 3rd and 10.1 yards on their 3rd down opportunities. 9 of their 12 3rd down opportunities were 8 yards or more, and they went 2 for 12. Got to handle it. Stay ahead of the chain. Stay on schedule. Field position. Jets are third in the NFL in punt returns. Bengals are second in the NFL in kickoff returns. So that's going to dictate some field position. The biggest thing, though, avoid 3 and outs. I mean, they had 8 3 and outs, 15 drives. Over half of them were 3 and outs. That kills field position. 1, 2, 3 punt. You got to drive the football, pin them. I mean, so you handle field position. Don't destroy field position. And then number 33, find them. Find them. Jamal Adams, great player. You got to recognize and communicate. He'll be in the box. He's got 6.5 sacks, leads all defensive backs. That's more than the sack leader for the Bengals, more than the sack leader for a lot of football teams. Greg Williams is going to utilize him, going to blitz him. I treat him like a linebacker in my rules. And, you have to find that guy. And Greg Williams, as we know, going to bring the kitchen sink, then he'll bring the kitchen, then he'll bring the house. As soon as they park the bus, he'll be blitzing backers to the stadium locker room. I mean, he's bringing it.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's show. For Lap and our crew, I'm Dan Horde. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week after the Pigskin Flies at Paul Brown Stadium. Bengals Weekly was brought to you in part by McDonald's. The greater Cincinnati area, McDonald's owner-operators, are proud sponsors of the Cincinnati Bengals.